Welcome to Stone Cottage Adventures. Today our adventure is a tour through the garden. So out onto the deck we go. Now, one of the things I like to do is to have rooms in the garden. So this is our living room on the deck here. You can come and have some appetizers, little vegetables with hummus. And we took out a redbud tree this year that was just in horrible condition, and it's starting to bud out a little bit, so you're going to see redbud branches all over the yard as I've filled them into some of my empty pots that have not been planted yet for spring. So here, another one there. That doesn't show very well because it's kind of dark. It was supposed to be sunny today, but it's overcast and a little windy. And you can see the forsythia blooming. And I have a lot of boxwood that stays green all year. I like that. And over here, as we go down, the next room we're going to go to is the kitchen. Our grill is here, so this is kind of our food prep area. And of course, the cook needs to sit down and have someone to visit with. So we have some new cushions. If you are needing new cushions, I've done all the research. These cushions were ordered online from Lowe's. They're 24 by 24 with both pieces. They were $49, like $49.50 around there, with free delivery. So you can do better than that. You're cleverer than I am. But that was really nice. And there's more redbud here. Now, I am going to take you here. This has been identified, I think, as the bridal wreath spirea that blooms early. I had that inside. These are some of my favorite, the Edgeworthia. So I am going to show you that up close because it's just a breathtaking flower, and it smells fabulous. And what's the leaves underneath it are our hurricane lilies, which will die back and bloom in August. Kind of an interesting thing. And this is the forsythia, which is really out in force. And this is where our redbud tree came out. So we've lost some privacy here, but boy, did it need to go. It was rotting inside and not good. But I will take you up to the front here, because this is one of my favorite little views in the springtime. This is a flowering quince, and underneath it you see a couple of different varieties of daffodils, and then we have the periwinkle, the vinca, blooming underneath it. And this is really pretty here. This is the akuba, the gold strike bush, which I think is really pretty with the flowering quince. The colors are pretty together. Here is something that's just barely starting to bloom. I have no idea what this one is. You guys have been really good at helping me figure out what things are. I brought some of this in last week in the house tour, but it makes these little beautiful little pink blossoms on this bush. No idea what that is. But let's go see the rest of the garden. So, past the kitchen with a bunch of redbuds stuck up in there. And there's our grill. And of course, if somebody needs to sit in the living room and visit, they can visit up there. And then go down here. More forsythia. I think I told you last week the forsythia is kind of weed-like in my yard. It's everywhere. And lots of daffodils blooming. And the vinca. Now here is another flowering quince. There's a light one, and then another one that's the darker pink, right across from the dining room. So here is our setup, and I'll tell you, the birds have been eyeing the fruit. I think they've decided I've put it out for them. Now this is a pink tablecloth covered by a lace tablecloth. They're both old family pieces, and the pink tablecloth is very stained. It washes well, and so it got used a lot in the 50s and 60s, and it was our family tablecloth. And when something stains like that, it's really fun to just put some lace over the top of it so you can't see. And I love the colors, the deep greens and the oranges and the reds and the purple grapes with the blues and the forsythia in the background. And I've picked a vase with some of the bridal wreath in it. And there's an ivy topiary and a boxwood and a little bit of the daffodils blooming in the background. Now, if you can see my swing, you can tell it's really windy, and it is covered with moss and lichens, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what to do with this thing. It has a lot of character. I have a cover for it, but that still doesn't seem like a permanent solution, so we're still working on that. And over here, another little sitting area and more redbud. I just saw a mockingbird. I guess he decided that maybe those red buds were tasty little morsels. I don't know. He was checking them out. And this is a nice place to sit. I often sit here. I've got my bird book there. But this is a good place to sit because it's very shady in the afternoon and right next to the storage shed. So after I've worked in the gardens, nice fun little spot to sit down. Looking back here, here is my pottery graveyard. I'm trying to think of something to do with the blue and white pottery. When I come up with it, I'll let you know. But in the meantime, there it is. And here is the Lenten rose. Very beautiful, and has been beautiful for 2 months now, and will keep on going until it gets really hot. Here are the camellias, and they tend to be kind of droopy, so they're better to look at from down below. I don't know if the light is too intense for you to see that, but the tree is covered with the camellia blooms, and back behind it, this scrawny little thing is my azalea that is the first bloomer every single year. So there he is. I wouldn't think he would, but he's blooming. Another little spot here to sit right off of the main bedroom. And I'm not going to show you around on the side. We'll pass on that. But there's a little sitting area with some flowers that I just brought out. And looking towards our dining area for our alfresco dining. The forsythia and some daffodils and some of the bridal wreath that I picked from up front, and our alfresco meal with our fruits. really interesting tree in the background. And looking back towards the deck. So that is our tour of the garden and our rooms in the garden. This is not a real big yard, but thanks to paths and coming around corners, it makes it a fun exploration to have. Thanks so much for joining us. Oh, there's the trash can. And if you've enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And we say welcome to all the new viewers that we're having. And I hope spring is on its way to your location. It's going to be exiting, I think. We're going to have a little bit of a cool week. That's why I did the video today. It's going to be a little bit cooler. But spring has arrived here in Northern Virginia. And thanks so much. We will see you next time.